Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u software demonstration call for August 1st, 2022. We're here on Cathy's website, CathyDSlaght.com, to access the Zoom call for the SRC4u software demonstration. You can click right through here. It will take you right to the Zoom call, which will be in progress. If you would like to be part of Cathy's SRC4u Daily Energy Clearing Group, where you can watch as she demonstrates the software, you can click here and join. If you would like to see Cathy's latest blog post, she's on Twitter, and it will list all of her Twitter tweets on her post for her blog. We're going to click through. The call will be live, and it will be loud, so you may want to lower the volume on your speakers. One moment, please.
And so here we are at 10:30. Welcome, everybody. Let me give you some thoughts on what we're going to be doing now for the month of August. As you can see, we're still running from yesterday, and I had really wanted to go into the subject of prosperity this month, but we always do a scan, and we want to go into teeth, which to me was not all that exciting, but that's what we want to go into. And when I started pulling things together, it's actually quite interesting. I'm going to, I think, get into some uncharted territory. So we know, I think all of us talked about it a while back. I'll probably post about it on the blog again tomorrow, but we know everything the teeth represent. It's far more than just cosmetic. And so the first thing, and you've got this scan in the email that'll go out today. This is a teeth issue scan. This is our top issues. And then I copied them again. And I could see right from the start, we're going to have a lot of interesting frontiers to explore. Is anybody in here familiar with this term right here? Whatever. I was not, but that was, if you could see in the Excel sheet.
Never heard of it before.
Never heard of it, and that is our top issue, and it's a 0. I can't quite, it's right up here with a 0. So let's just go ahead and we'll take all that out because we've got it copied. And what that is, I thought, well, what in the heck is that? And this is when I realized probably the work we're going to have ahead of us for this month with teeth. It is a low level of phosphorus. And what's going to happen is that it's our food sources, because we may not be getting enough protein with all this emphasis on vegetarianism, etc. We need seafood, dairy. We can get lentils and peas, but we're not, as a group, at least at this moment in time, getting enough phosphorus in our diet. And look at some of the things that are associated with that. You've got the muscles, the bones, certain issues with the blood, altered mental state, respiratory failure, heart failure, seizures, numbness, and actually coma was in there, but I enough was enough. But you can see what happens. This can be caused by what they refer to as mismanaged diabetes. It may not be that a person even knows they have diabetes. Very often this happens when they're diabetic, but they're not aware of it. Chronic alcoholism, unfortunately any kind of severe burn. Respiratory alkalosis just means you're not breathing in and out deeply. There's the malnutrition, hyperparathyroidism, hormonal conditions, vitamin D deficiency, and then there are a couple of issues that mess up our electrolytes, namely too many diuretics and too many antacids. So that's something we're going to be looking at this point. Right now, we can just go ahead and add this remedy.
Hey, Cathy.
Yeah.
I'm curious, was fluoride mentioned in that? I was thinking fluoride had something to do with phosphorus, but maybe I'm
That's
mistaken.
a good thing to say. I don't know. It was not mentioned in what I got pulled up so far. And you know, I was kind of disappointed. I always pull up all these books to start doing my work. And the first book I pulled up was talking about be sure you get your fluoride toothpaste. I'm like, oh, brother.
Oh, God. Right.
Yeah. So that I found that interesting. Now, later, I'm going to send everybody this David Slater scan, but I want to get a little bit more information on it first. I'm not going to send the whole scan right now. We'll just do the teeth issues. And we've got the information. Probably a very slight change in some of these habits, even just the breathing, or maybe looking at our vitamin D, that type of thing. Maybe we'll take popping too many antacids, tons, or whatever they are. So this is always subtle, and it comes from our field, so it can be extremely proactive. Now, the idea also, and I don't know, but I have been getting pretty many calls from friends wanting to know if Medicare covers dental and all. In other words, a lot of people seem to be having some dental stress, and I don't know if anybody's still doing the oil pulling, but I'm doing that. And it's making a big difference for me. And the biggest difference, and Nydia will like this, I don't really much want my coffee every morning. And that's really a surprise. But I don't know what that's about, but I do start with the oil pulling first. Now, here are a few little home remedies, because I think that's going to be our focus, is what can we do? And you can do whatever you want to do with this, but just for fun right now. And, of course, it's going to be much more effective if you do it for an individual. But just as a group, let's just see. So we like the turmeric, so you could do a little more research on that. Onion, some of these don't look too savory, but they're things that are helping people with dental stress and particularly pain. So it looks right now that's where we're looking. Turmeric, and again, you just put a little paste of turmeric on the gums or the tooth, or onion. So that's just a little information. But then also, here is a remineralization formula, and I don't know about anybody else. I probably am not going to be putting this stuff together, but I tested. There was a 77% benefit to receive this formula through the supercharger. And so I went ahead and pasted it in there. That's not it. Wait a minute. Well, we've got it in there.
What are you supposed to do with that, Cathy? Are you supposed to brush with it, or just rub it on your gums, or what?
Yep. You're supposed to brush with it, and you can even swish with it.
Huh.
And but some of us, like me, probably won't ever do that. So that's why I wondered, because everything is energy, there's no telling what all we can do that we just hadn't thought of before. And that's kind of what we're all about, is original thought. Let's just see. That didn't work. Wait a minute. It won't take forever. I can always post and let you know how long we want it. Maybe just minutes. I'll do one more, and then I'll come back to it later and just let you know how long we're asking for. Okay, well, we'll take an hour. This, to me, falls into the what can it hurt category. And here's the teeth issue scan. And I need to know more about David Slater. He's known for some powerful radionics rates. And we've got a list. It goes on. You'll see it's interesting. You're going to want to work with that Excel spreadsheet. And then we are working now on a new startup scan for August. That's going to take me some time today. I've gotten started with it, but it takes a while. I'll show you where we are so far. We still want to do our primary situation scan, but we're still running today from the last session, and you'll see this is pretty cool. Our primary situation was I am God's masterpiece, and then we wanted to include our residents, our water, Englewood, New Jersey, and Chicago, Illinois. And that's kind of a theory that because we're all one, why not? This is the list supposedly of the 10 most stressed cities at this time, and I scan every session. I do this now, and I don't know what's going on in Hackensack, New Jersey, but almost everybody has wanted to help that city out a little bit, so it's rather interesting. But anyway, before, in July, we were then dowsing in 866 hertz, but that was only now. We're done with that one. Remember, we're reminding our own inner technology how to do these things. And what we had way up in the 90s as benefit, accelerated release of non-beneficial, socially conditioned belief systems and viral programming. So let's go in here. Let's see how we look with that. Douse that up, and that's all we can use a little oomph on that. I'm doing a 3. Now I learned yesterday also 12 times. Tesla also talked about 12. So we'll do 3, 6, 9, 12, and 108. All right, there we go with the 6. Just douse that in. And also, I'm going to go over this charger stuff that we've added. Okay, no, I'll finish this up and then show you that. Cleaned up the list of what we then, we still wanted this. This was like 100% benefit to continue with this. Neutralize all negative brain signals. So let's douse that in. Taking that up. And then down here, this was another 100% benefit, align vibrationally to healing session. That makes sense. Keep that in. But again, I'm just going down the list one at a time. And there is one thing I think I just passed up, I need to show you. But I'm just going to go down the list one at a time, see where we need to be, what we need to change, what we need to add for the month. Douse that again and again. See a little stress there. Look at that. A little bit of stress. Let's see, we've got a little stress today, even in aligning with our energy coming in. So, there you go. So we want to make that, and that brings up, let me show you what we're doing with the charger based on what I learned from my friend who had such success with helping that lady get her Coinbase wallet money back. This, what we're doing here, and I'll show you how this goes for our group, and you can take it any way you want to take it. These are the things I'm going to check first, but before I do that, let me erase this. Yesterday, our charger focus was fractured soul. That's what we wanted to receive repeated. This today, it's going to be aligned vibrationally to healing session. But I've just been going in and checking a few basic things, and you don't have to make it a big deal. But charger focus shedding. That shedding does appear to be a real thing. I was pretty much a skeptic on that, but you see, we've been receiving that charge, so we're now handling that ourselves. Our own inner technology is kicked in. Then we have 5G. You can just put the first few. The software knows what you're doing. No? See? This chemtrails is a bigger deal than I would have thought also. See how we are today. Nope, we're good. But my little grandson, almost every day, wants a charge to shield from chemtrails. So the children at their younger stages appear to be pretty sensitive. And so we're in pretty good shape today. Just get into the habit of doing this every day at some point. This is a pretty interesting charge. Eliminate the pathogens in the mouth. Okay, again, we're in good shape. Then we've got strengthened chi.
Are the chemtrails really affecting us that much?
I wouldn't have thought so, but when I first started playing around with this charger, I can't tell you how many days it was. The group, and then individuals too, over and over wanted that charge. And I will tell you, how you accumulate stories as you do this kind of work. I have a client that was up in New York for a business trip, and this is months ago. And she called and said, I'm under some kind of terrible attack. I'm having nightmares, terrible nightmares. Can you put me in? And the biggest stress was chemtrails. I even did it twice thinking that can't be right. But that was the stress. So do your own research. You don't want to worry about it. We are equipped to do whatever we need to do, but we have to be aware that it could be a problem. And unfortunately, it does appear. Some people who follow this kind of thing say they have increased the chemtrails. I don't know. I don't look for them. I don't look up to see. I'm just figuring, going back to what does it hurt.
Well, they used to have a lot of them where I lived out here in Virginia, and I don't see as many as way back when we had a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what to think either in that, and I'm not going to worry about it, but I am going to check for it. Now, this is an interesting one, too. This is a shield from toxic nanoparticles, and we're up to a 68 on that, so let's just do it. You see, we have a bunch of shields in here. We'll just come back in a minute. Now, then we've got emotional release, which, is a definite priority if we're wanting to clear things. Usually I just go in and check it again, like the nanoparticles. We'll do the 5 minutes, and then I'll check and see. Again, we'll take that one too as soon as this other is done. And this one was a priority to add. Clear all unseen energy that does not have my best interest at heart. Okay, we're good there. And then finally, I do like this 866 hertz. We did not resonate with leaving it in our primary for August, but it's such a powerful hertz frequency for change that it doesn't hurt. And really and truly, the group is pretty much sailing through these now because we do it every day. But then you can get into your focus. For example, if you have someone with a diagnosis, test to see if it's charge your focus to send some energy in repeatedly for that, 5 minutes at a time. Doesn't hurt. And then another thing that I forgot to show you, let me move back up here. I guess I didn't write it down yet. We have a high resonance for adding a proclamation every Monday and running it in the mastery for a week. So I want to show you what that looks like. You can actually type an entire proclamation or entire affirmation in the theme. And what we scan for, I've got these proclamations in here, and maybe Kevin and I can hook up later and he can download them. But this was ours. If you could see that, maybe I need to do that again. My creative energies was the top, and what's going to happen, let me get my Mr. McGraw. I am creation on all levels of consciousness. I proclaim dominion over my creations as far as their energies extend. I command that no entity, thought form, or energy, past, present, or future, shall interfere or compromise the integrity of my creations, and that any energy put forth in this effort shall instantly, without a lapse of time or space, be transmuted into the divine expression of creative love, and so it is. So we can now evaluate, and we'll see at this moment in time if what stress might be blocking that realization. But I've been working with these proclamations, and it seems to be a benefit. So there's our evaluation. Let's just see where we are right now. So our nutrition, you see, fluid, use a little QiGong, balance our pH, heart chakra. See, quite a bit. Look at that. Look at all that. I'm not going to do this right here because it shows names. But what's going to happen is then you just accept your protocol, and you want a new scan each day, and we're going to go till next Monday receiving this one each day, if that makes sense. And you can do it in your P4 if that, if you end up scanning for the proclamations and that makes sense to you, then you can do it with the P4. So anyway, with that in mind, here's where we are now. See, again, torso. See, do we want the torso? Yeah, we'll take the torso cocktail. Scan of that cocktail. Oh, wait a minute, that's not what I meant to do. No, don't need it. P4 will handle it. Gallbladder. One of the things, too, if you get a chance to check out the post that went up yesterday, The toxicity is one of the biggest factors in aging. And one of the things we do at the end of each month, I've got a list of codes on that post, is again, work with whatever is lowering our voltage. And the main thing that is lowering our voltage, if you had to really pinpoint it, and of course then accelerating aging and keeping us from manifesting, etc., is actually our microcirculation. It's actually the capillaries, which freeze up with too much toxicity. It's quite fascinating. So there's a little list of codes on the post as well that you may or may not want to run through. I did it for the group yesterday. Now we see that we did this yesterday. Let's just look here. We see liver meridians. Do we want it further scanned? Nope. I thought meridians were going to be our focus, but again, I guess not. Nope. Well, anyway, probably because these were all recently done. Let me just check one more, and I'll finish up later. Don't need to. But these scans, when they're necessary, with the information they give people, people are appreciating it. And, okay, no, 60. So with that, yeah, we still want to add additional themes, and then, you go back and forth. I'll go back and forth with this all day. But I have one more thing to tell you in the form of a story. I had something really weird happen last week. When I was interviewed for the little radio show, the guy and I chatted a little bit first, and he brought up something called destiny cards. Are you guys familiar with destiny cards? I don't know if anybody is. About 30 years ago, when I was doing real estate, I still was a big reader back then, and if I was in any unfamiliar area, and saw a bookstore, I'd always run in, and so one of those times that happened, and I ran into a New Age bookstore, and I wasn't into that stuff at all, but there was a book there by a man by the name of Robert Camp with a big picture of playing cards on it, and it was entitled Destiny Cards, and I actually thought, I still remember it, thinking, what will these New Age people think of next? But I, of course, looked up my birthday, and it really did describe me. And so I bought it and played around with it, and that was the last of it. Well, for the interviewer, it turned out he brought up destiny cards, and it turned out we were the same card and the same birth date. That made me think about this stuff a little bit again. It's just an energy thing. So anyway, I went, there's a site, and it's, let me just put it in here. I believe this is it. And you can, I was telling a friend about it on the phone Friday night, and pulled up this site to tell her her card, because it is kind of fun, it's interesting, it's harmless, and saw that they give a daily card. So after she and I got off the phone, I looked up my daily card and saw that I was being sent some bad energy. And that was reflected with the card, which was a 2 of spades. And I thought, well, and again, I warned you, this is going to be a weird topic. So I did work to clear that. I'll tell you in Thursday a couple of things I did in reference to that. But meanwhile, just for your own entertainment, if you want to look up your card and you want to get a feel also, because what I'm always wanting to work on is original thinking. This is pretty original thinking. It's been around a while. But back when I had done a little work with this, it was helpful. So there's that for you. That's your weird story for the day. And if you want to see your birth card, just go right here. We are electrical beings. And this is not necessarily the same as certain other types of readings. This is, according to Robert Camp, this is just how we came in and then what we can do to change it. I had forgotten all about it, but back, I'll tell you quickly, in my case, I'm a 4 of clubs, and that's a mental card, and that's very true of me. I've always, read and studied. That's just what I was drawn to even as a child. That was my card, but what got me was the Karma Club card, which was a Jack of Spades, and that means you're always coming across tricksters who betray you. And there I was with these divorces behind me and looking at that and thinking, oh my goodness. And so that is what caught my attention. However, we realize now, doing the work we're doing, whether it be if you incorporate astrology or whatever you choose to incorporate, these things can be changed. And I did say that with Peter, who was on, the interviewer. I said, can't the energy of these karmic cards be changed once you understand how energy works? And he thought about it a minute. He said, yes, I believe they could. Even just the awareness. You can bet I am much more cautious now before going into any kind of business dealing or anything like that. So it's just for the information for anybody who wants to know. And then on Thursday, I'm going to tell you what I did to clear it, which you might find interesting as well, but you don't need all that today. You'll run out of time. Again, you don't want to depend on anything, but it's interesting. And that's what I found, is a lot of this stuff made sense. So with that in mind, that's it for today. And I guess I'll hopefully see you all Thursday.
Sounds great. Thank you, Cathy. Great
you.
information.
Have a beautiful day today, Cathy.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you, Cathy.
And all the rest of you
Take care,
too.
everybody.
This concludes the SRC4u Zoom call. Thank you for participating. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.